My beautiful stars, reading time. So we're going to do a you versus them. I want to see if the person on your mind, if you guys are in an energetic alignment right now, see what's going on here. And if you're not in alignment, let's see some of the blocks that you guys can work on to bring you into alignment. So let's get into it. First, let's confirm the connection. Okay, so let's just connection, please, for main collective. I don't know why this is coming to my mind, but I'm going to say it. It's coming to my mind. When it comes to collective readings, I'm not making anyone watch readings. I just want to make that clear. And I just see that some people really try and make some readings fit, which you shouldn't. Okay, I always say for readings truly for you, your body will just ignite. Your mind should take you to certain memories. It should resonate through your core. And it's not just the signs through the reading, but as you're watching, you should allocate signs to your team. Let it be certain numbers, certain animals, sirens, whatever it is. You, as a watcher, should also be allocating signs, okay? I just see some very triggered comments from people, and I want to make it clear. I read a lot of people that are going through really hard times in love, and if you as a watcher can come on and completely lose it at a complete stranger, some really nasty things that some people can say, and you follow it up with, I'm sick of this, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that. If you can do that behind your keyboard, I can just imagine what you do behind closed doors for people actually in your life. You shouldn't be watching love readings. You're not ready for love. If you can abuse a complete stranger with nastiness, you need to turn that finger inward and maybe reflect on why people have detached out of your life, because you clearly don't have good communication tools. Okay, I cop a lot of shit here on YouTube. I've only been here for a few months. On TikTok, I've got quite a large platform and I deal with it daily, and I've become pretty numb to it. But I've noticed over here, some people can write absolute paragraphs and take your own personal trauma out on myself. I'm here to guide people and help people that want to be helped, okay? I don't need people's abuse and their triggers. And again, if you can abuse a complete stranger, there's a reason your heart space feels empty and you feel alone. And that might be harsh, but it's the truth. Just saying. Anyway, back to this collective. Everything I say is for a reason. Maybe this collective, even your communication tools you've been working on. Okay, well, let's get into it. So current connection with you and your person, you're feeling quite strung along at the moment. You could be feeling like an option, okay? This is needed time to heal. And the fact that that little rant just came to my mind, I do feel the right collective, you once upon a time, and we all have trauma, we all go through healing, but maybe this was a connection, and be honest with yourself, where maybe the communication was quite aggressive, it was quite triggering, and that there could have been a lot of passion, there could have been a lot of love, but maybe when it came to the depth of your connection, when it came to facing challenges or conflict, it would just ignite and it would become quite triggersome, okay? Because your current connection, it's needed time. It takes time in cycles, time to heal, progression. So this wasn't a healed love, okay? There was clearly obstacles, and communication probably being the biggest one, okay? But there it is, self-indulgence. So the right collective, I feel actually both of you have had to focus on yourself, your self-worth, your time to heal, your shadow work, okay? But you're finding self-appreciation from this connection. Do I think that there was unconditional love here from maybe how you viewed unconditional love to be in the past? Yes. Do I think you really understood what unconditional love was, either of you? No. Okay. I'm feeling this collective. I don't know if you both grew up in quite a traumatic environment, a lot of chaos, a lot of instability. Maybe there was abuse in the home, or there was, you know, unfortunately you saw physical abuse between your parents, or drug abuse. Whatever the case, I think you both unfortunately grew up in a very rocky environment. So when it came to life, decisions in life, love, friendships, whatever it was, when things were going smooth, when things were feeling safe, unfortunately, your subconscious programming, because you were so accustomed to chaos in your life, there would be unnecessary arguments that were started. Maybe you two were very critical on each other. So even though there was unconditional love in your eyes, you guys would notice all the little details of the wrong, okay? Starting unnecessary conflict over just things that shouldn't even be voiced, because unfortunately, neither of you knew how to love properly. To have the clock here with self-indulgence, you both, not just one, you both embodied, unfortunately, some pretty tough armor to get through, okay? I don't think you gave and received love properly, all right? But mirror, both of you, literally, this relationship came to you as you to them to finally point the finger back and go into introspection, mirroring each other's self-image, relationship, reflecting each other's wounds. So when we have two broken people that are unaware of their shadow, that are unaware of their... I want to say baggage, but that's what it is. It's emotional baggage from life, right? It can be so triggering to love someone. And I feel you both just brought out the worst in each, but because you loved each other unconditionally, no matter how abruptive, no matter how aggressive, no matter how argumentative, no matter how much you guys would ignite, I feel the right collective, you just could not walk away. Even feeling strung along, you loved them. And that's what makes trauma sad. For someone to be in that kind of situation and view it as unconditional love, it's sad. It's sad. Strung along, engagement. So this person could have proposed. And another thing I find, that people that have a lot of trauma in the heart space, you're embedded with insecurities. I find people that unfortunately aren't the most self-aware. They really try and rush love. You're wanting to create permanence in your life before you're really building that strong foundation. You're ruled by lust. You're ruled by the validation, because your abandonment and codependence kicks in, right? And I feel you guys, unfortunately, and don't make it fit, okay? Not that you would want to make this reading fit, but you were trying to rush to the end stop, even though it was so imbalanced and triggering. You weren't seeing the warning signs. I feel it feels emotionally abusive, but from both of you, okay? And even I keep saying the word aggressive. I don't know. I hope there wasn't physical abuse, but I'm seeing holes in the walls and like dents in your house. I think this person took their anger out on the furniture. It could have. And I'll say this right now, if someone can take their anger out on furniture, it's only a matter of time before that ends up being you. If someone cannot control their emotion into a state of aggression, people need to learn to walk away. And I see this a lot. People that unfortunately have trauma in the heart space, you can stay with someone till you're physically black and blue and still not want to walk away because of the abandonment, the fear of being alone. This self-indulgence and clock was needed here. So we've got butterfly underneath this clock. Relationship evolving to the next phase, healing inner child growth. There's a reason I'm wanting to do a you versus them. There's a reason I'm wanting to see if this connection is in alignment. As I'm going through this reading, I'm actually starting to feel a real heaviness here. And I say this a lot. Sometimes people crave and they're not seeing the situation properly. And if this person was removed out of rejection is protection, it was for a reason. I strongly believe everyone can change in life if they want to, even certain traits that I'm explaining, okay? And I always say that the right love truly inspires us to change through self-indulgence, through mirror work, through this clock. But if this has been a long time apart, it's been for a reason, okay? I'll tell you right now, anger issues, that's a very, very hard one to heal. That takes years of therapy. And another thing, I see this a lot in the divine community, sometimes you don't understand why it's taking years, you don't get it, but if there was traits like this in your connection, you should be giving thanks that it's taking years. No one can heal, like the way I'm explaining this relationship, that takes years of therapy and guidance to truly, truly overcome that stuff. And to have those deep inset qualities in your soul, you need a very patient spouse and you need very strong communication tools. You need to know how to not add fuel to the fire and ignite the situation, okay? Like it takes a lot of patience. It takes a long time to build a very strong, safe foundation with things like that are embedded in our soul. And like I said, I do believe anyone can change if they truly want to. But again, that change takes years. And I always say the divine is always protecting us. But people get so impatient on this journey and they don't get it. If your relationship was really the way I'm explaining, you should be thanking your lucky stars that you haven't come into alignment yet. Because this collective, the right collective, you're as bad as each other. And don't make it fit. I don't need the unnecessary comments. You've got mirror for the right collective. You might not be as, highly triggered, but if this person was aggressive, that means this collective, you were aggressive back. Okay, so again, is love enough? Do you think you have healed enough to be patient? Do you think this person's healed enough to be patient? Do you, and you have to be honest with yourself. Do you think you're strong enough to walk away from certain conflicts and not add fuel to the fire? Have you learnt to walk away from those no-win situations? Because again, the right collective You both embody the same traits. Self-indulgence. This is beautiful, I will say. So we've got healing, heart, self-indulgence. I do think you both do still crave each other. That's not the issue here. I think there's a very intense love for one another, but I do believe the person connected to you, I'm hearing this for a reason, they know your love for each other is not healthy. Okay, I think this person had to remove themselves away from, and you might not even know this is coming to my mind. Maybe your person has been very aggressive in past relationships and it fell apart, and if there was a moment towards your, like, the moment of the walk away, maybe their aggression came out and it scared them and it took them back to past memories. You would have memories of this person being aggressive with friends, siblings, okay? So maybe when they met you, it was the wall at first, and then maybe you guys just got very heated, and I'm not seeing physical abuse, but maybe there was a shove or a push, and there's a reason everything comes to my mind, and this person, alarm bells went off because the same thing they had been through in other relationships. And if this person did propose and they clearly loved you, I think this person knows that they've got some darkness in them. I'm going to be honest. I've never done a reading like this. This is very specific. But the right collective, because you're mirrors, you would have mirrored this in past relationships too. Let it be. You yourself could get quite handsy with past people in your life. Okay. Or just explosive. Didn't know how to control your emotion. Didn't know how to calm a trigger. Didn't know how to find center when you were going through an explosive energy. Okay. I actually feel this person is, I don't think they ever wanted to walk away. I think they had to, from what I can feel. I will confirm everything. Wow. I'm not here to judge I'm not here to judge. Like I said, if this would take years to heal, I want to make that very clear. This stuff doesn't change in a few weeks or a month, not even a year. But you've got butterfly, healing, and you've got the phoenix here. New phase, rekindle, growth, change mind. I have to say this. I'm going to take my reader energy out of this. I'm going to say this as if I was talking to a friend, okay? And again, you don't need to comment. This is something you need to reflect on. If I had a friend or a sibling or anyone close to me that was going through something like this with someone, and you know me, I love love. I read love. If anyone I knew was going through physical abuse, I would tell them to leave, and I would tell them to shut the door, and I would tell them to never look back. I do believe people can change, but again, that takes years, and it's a lifetime of, like, it's a really hard one, okay? So I just hope this right collective, there was never physical abuse. I don't even know if I should do this reading. It's clearly an important message, but I just need to make it clear. It's a hard one. This is a tough reading. Very tough reading. But there was definitely aggression, but I'm really hoping it wasn't towards one another, because if it was, I don't know why Spirit would be calling me to do this message if it was. It's just not with this butterfly, this healing, this phoenix, this mirror, this clock, this, like, there's a reason this is coming to my mind. Maybe some people are watching this, that this isn't your collective and you are in a DV kind of situation and you need to walk away, okay? This right collective, just with this here, I just can't see how I would be guided to do this for you guys and have all this healing. I do feel you guys, the right collective, did get borderline. I do feel maybe there was some pushes and shoves. Do I think there was battered and bruised? And no, I'm not seeing any closed feet. I'm not seeing that. I just don't know why this would be. I have a feeling the reason I'm deviating so much is there are some people watching this and you're holding your heart space off, and you shouldn't. Because I know I said everyone can change, but that is like, that is a true, like I said, years of therapy and a lifetime full of patience to have someone like that in your life. Okay, I'm like croaking up saying this. This is a very I'm just gonna stick firm with what I'm saying. If you are in that kind of situation, walk away and don't look back. Okay, for the right collective, I think you both were borderline, you didn't know how to deal with emotion, and unfortunately it could become very explosive, and because you were mirrors, you were just igniting it, you were bringing the worst out of one another, and neither of you knew how to let the fire simmer. You would just keep going. You didn't know when to walk away from the no-win situation. And I feel the right collective, the universe really stood in and pulled you guys apart, okay, to heal. Like, you can't get past all these healing cards. The right collective, this should make sense, especially because this is here. You would know within yourself before you started your healing journey, you had some explosive emotion. And like I said at the start, a reading that's really meant for you will take you to memories. It'll ignite your body. You will get signs and synchronicities. Can you hear the crows going crazy as I'm doing this? This is a very specific message. So we've got hammer. It was very repetitive. I honestly think the right collective, that's my 50-50 card. I'm just sticking to this. It's like you kept trying to make it work, even though there was so much ignition and so many warning signs. This was progressively getting worse and worse and worse. It's like the universe had to step in. You kept trying to build something that was, and it was clearly because of both of your trauma, you really weren't seeing the signs, okay? You know what I want to do? Before I keep going, I need to see the universe's perspective on this, because I might not be posted. I just want to see how the universe is viewing this connection. I just don't know why they would show me so many healing cards if it was a very, like, because I don't agree with that. But let's just, I just quickly want to see how the universe is viewing this, to see if we keep going or I just delete this. we've got the grasshopper, the moose, the mortar and pestle. It's nice. That one more. Okay, more info with. Okay, this is nice. I think the reason I'm drifting at the start, I just love you guys. I'm so protective over you, and I just want to make it clear: physical abuse is terrible, and you should never hold your heart space out for like I've said it a few times. It takes a very long time to heal that. Okay, from what I'm gathering, this connection. Your first card here is about don't worry, okay? Easygoing and needed a change in direction. This is about luck as well and taking that leap of faith. I do feel there was two broken people here that needed to learn how to thrive in independence and get through trauma. Okay, this is clearly, I feel the right collective again. You both grew up in maybe a bit of an abusive household, and it just implemented some very angry traits in you both, okay? But it was all about learning to alchemize and reflect and go within and understand your shadow. You're clearly the right collective, such a beautiful person with a big heart, and so is this person, okay? But you both really struggled with codependence and insecurities, and this would have been a pattern for you in love. Not having trust, always accusing, always imposing, always prying, starting unnecessary arguments. It's like, and everyone deserves to be happy. Everyone deserves to really experience true depth of love. That's why we're all here. This world is ruled by love. And it's just really sad how I'm just seeing two broken birds, okay? But this was to teach you how to be cool, calm, and collected and find center in emotion. Learn when to walk away from those ignited situations. This was to build your confidence and your internal insecurity. You guys clearly found each other for a reason, okay? I'm not going to lie. I feel the right collective. This activated your magic within. Okay. This bouquet card is about happy, harmony, reconciliation, openness, expressive, learning how to express properly, and love. It's about gratitude and warmth. I think if you guys didn't part ways, the anxiety, the worry, the stress, the restlessness, it's like the fear, the nagging, your relationship would never have worked. You needed to end the season here. It really is just that broken mirror, unfortunately. You both found each other at your worst. But you both clearly are quite special people. This needed to end. For the right collective, this would be a long time that you've been away, because even though it's not, the physical, there's a lot of aggression you both needed to heal, because years together it probably would have turned into that, okay? I think if this healing journey didn't start for you when it did, or for this person, you both quite easily could have turned into that kind of person. I'm going to be honest, for the right collective. It's like you both went through some form of awakening because of this to find your best selves. Your healing started just at the right time, is what I'm hearing. This is about empathy. So you're both empathic people, but you didn't know how to transmute that empathy into that healing energy. So you guys were always on high alert with emotions, very observant people, especially this. Just always like truly two broken souls. But let's keep going. Okay. This grasshopper, The right collective, I think this would be making you emotional, because I think this would be making you maybe reflect on some things you were choosing to forget. I always say people that come from very severe childhood trauma, you guys tend to blank out certain memories and situations. You learn this as a coping mechanism, as a protection thing from a young age. Just example, you could have people talking about certain things and you're like, huh, that didn't happen. It's like a trauma response for your mind, okay? And I feel the right collective, it's like you failed to really understand how severely broken you both were. I don't think you ever saw that your explosive energy, both of your energy, was ever that bad. Like, I don't think you realized how serious it could have got if you didn't start your healing journey. I'm going to be honest. This would be a very tough reading to hear. But you finally, I think, this is finding you for a reason. Maybe it's to make you have more understanding why this has been so long and why you've been away from each other so long. Our Creator was protecting you both. Yeah. You were always born to have a very abundant life, and so was this person. But to thrive in independence, you needed to learn how to control your emotion. The sad thing is, I think you both present very cool, calm and collected when you're not triggered. And I think in the past it would take you a lot to get to that point. Like, I really am just seeing two kind of more undaunted, very light-hearted energies, okay? Remember, our armor, our shadow comes up when we don't know how to deal with the emotion. You were clearly someone, both of you, I'm going to say, you were born to do some great things here, but you needed an emotional release. You needed to let go of the things that had been, you aren't your trauma, is what I'm hearing. You were never meant to be your trauma. Your trauma was never meant to hold you back, but you didn't understand about healing. I don't think this collective, you ever thought of going to therapy or anything like that. I don't even think you knew what the word healing was before this person exited your life. You didn't understand how valuable and special you were, which makes me feel, I know I was saying aggression in the home. I don't know if you left home very young or you had to go to from home to home. Here in Australia, we call them refuges. Like, I just feel you were so lost. You were so lost. You both were lost. This relationship was meant to bring you into fulfillment, okay? It was meant to make you start chasing after the right things in life, your greatness. This is making me emotional. I want to cry. It's just sad how our trauma can... Oh my God, hold on, I'm getting... Hold on. Oh, sorry, my angels. This one's making me emotional. It's just... It's sad what trauma can do, especially for everybody, but especially special souls. The trauma had kept you hidden for majority of your life, and you didn't know it. And that's what the sad thing is. Neither did the person connected to you. It was meant to complete it out. It was meant to end it. The world energy under your magic. It was meant to complete a lot of baggage that was holding you back. It was meant to teach you boundaries. It was meant to teach you emotion and structure. And it's made you really learn how to test your commitment through endurance and perseverance. You've learned a lot of lessons because of this connection. A lot. You both were a blessing for one another. It just was like a blessing in disguise. You had to go through a lot of pain to activate this in you. Had to move on from the pain. I want one more for that. This is about going places, adventure, vehicle, vacation, enterprises, movement with this reconciliation. But I just want one more for that. Okay, so there was external energy, especially influence. Like I said, I think both of your upbringings have really affected you and this connection, okay? Maybe your person's got more of that enmeshment kind of trauma with their family. I always say trauma repeats throughout generations, and I just think especially your person got a lot of their anger from their parents. I'm going to be honest. And also this collective, because I'm seeing a male. So if you're a woman, not just feminine, but if you're in a woman's vessel and you had a very aggressive father, unfortunately, again, because childhood trauma, it imprints from 3 to 4 years old. We're teaching ourselves emotion when we don't know emotion. That's what creates our shadow, right? If you had a very aggressive kind of father, this was implemented in you because your father is who is your role model as a male figure in your life, right? Normally, it's kind of like you attracting your father. So if you grew up with quite an aggressive father or just quite volatile, it's really sad because this imprinted in you as this is safe without you knowing. So again, back to the start, the right collective, I think you've always called in an aggressive figure in your life when it comes to love. Don't make it fit. This needed to heal. Again, you are not your trauma and you should never be bound to it. That's why we heal, to break these cycles. But there's been a lot of interference, and I'm seeing this as upbringing that has stopped. That's some tough stuff to heal. You need to trust the universe, okay? This is being guided and protected for a reason. If you have both evolved this much, and I will get into you guys individually, but again, this is the universe's message here. And I feel you both have evolved so much since one another. I want one more for this. Yeah, mother guy. That's nice. You've started to ground this. You don't see it just yet. You're not meant to see it just yet. You're not meant to see it just yet. There's still more work to be done. This mother Gaia card, inner identity. So this was holding you back from grounding. It was holding you back from purpose. I think your love activated you both to finally heal. You're experiencing duality. Practicality, center of everything, balance. You needed to balance. There's still, though, I'm going to be honest, especially with these clouds, because this is beyond your view right now. This is about thoughts and problems, misunderstandings, indecision, confusion. So I just keep going back to the very first thing I said about lacking communication tools. Even through healing, when you guys can lead with passion, you need really good communication tools. And again, learning when to not ignite and pay, like you need to still really have that in focus. And I do feel still when it comes to communication, you both need to work on some things here. You might not be getting many tests, especially if you're isolated, but you've got to really start seeing what triggers you still, okay? Because I think the universe is saying, yes, this is grounding. Yes, you're tapping into your inner identity, but there's still a few things here that are blocking this reconciliation, okay? Especially, there's something here about family, which is a big one. And I heard enmeshment for a reason. I've got a collective on TikTok where I've actually got two. And it's like the person, and it's coming to my mind. So the right collective, you probably remember readings I've done of this where the person you're connected to, it's like they hold on to their family's burdens, their family's secrets. It's like a lot of things have repeated in it's like it happens happens behind those closed doors, that family home stays behind those closed doors. So I don't know if, well, you would know this, that your person, one of their parents might be quite, you know, in a high role, or it's like they don't want their family secrets getting out, okay? Like their parents work in a very high income or high structure, quite, what's the word, is it called affluent? Like present a certain way in public. A lot of people know them. Do you know what, right, collective, you'll know what I'm trying to say. It's like there's certain things that aren't allowed to leave those closed doors, okay? Unfortunately, I feel, and again, universal message right now, there's still things blocking this from moving forward. Church marriage. So this is why this needed, you guys were meant to part ways. You were meant to find your purpose in life. You were meant to, something about the collective, your belief system, structure, traditions, programming, marriage, but family values as well. You needed to learn to see life. You needed to learn to see the universe. Okay. You needed to, I think before this person, maybe you never believed in anything, like no religion, maybe a little bit of spirituality. I don't think you had certain beliefs. I think you were just life, like just, you never thought, you never really took time to think, is there something far greater? Maybe you would, you know, a little bit about God, or, but I don't think you didn't have a belief system, okay? You both needed to learn it. You needed to understand there is something far greater than us all that guides us. And by this, and constantly gathering more info and expanding your mind, it's relieved your mice energy. It's relieved restlessness. Yeah, of course you would still feel it, but you're dealing with it better. It's nice. One more. Okay. Got to expect the unexpected here through these obstacles. I want one more. I don't think it's time just yet. I think you both still need a bit more healing, but I want one more. The mask. There's still a little bit more. There's still a bit of a mask I think you both wear. You've got something very unexpected that will arrive from mountains, obstacles and distance, okay? But there's just, I think this person is in a bit of a disguise right now. I think they're in the dark. But I think you are as well a little bit. One more. Crossroads. So you would have some big lessons coming up about triggers at the moment. This won't be released until your energy shows you both have gone through your explosive emotion, okay? Truly healed it. Not, oh, I've healed it, like your frequency says it. So that means for them to be presenting, we talk about the cake you bake, right? Going through the shadow, the ascensions, the rebirths, we go through multiple. Then we come out for rest period to see if we're ready for our toppings. So as we're cooling off, getting ready for our icing, emotional tests. So right now, the universe would be granting you both situations, family, friends, social media, okay? What else? Maybe even lessons with pets, frustration, thin skin. Anyway, they would just be presenting you a lot of lessons right now and tests to see, are you highly triggered still? Do you get easily irritated? Are you thin-skinned? They'll be testing you to see if you still have your explosive emotion, or you know how to walk away from no-win situations. Do you add fuel to the fire? Do you antagonize? Do you play people off against one another? Do you gossip? Are you a little bit too... Like, this is the stuff that they'd be testing you with to really see if your energies align with one another. Because you're both here. There's something you both are still wearing a bit of a mask, which makes me think neither of you are really being put in situations to see how much you can still ignite. So be very wary right now. See how you're dealing with triggers. I want one more, because they're saying crossroads for this journey, an opportunity, but weighing up the options. One more. Oh, that's nice. Divine feminine. So there's clearly, you have clearly divine feminine energy. So they are testing your compassion, kindness. Okay. It's funny because I've had a lot of collectives, especially last week, a lot of the feminines were leaning more towards the masculines. This collective specifically, you still have to work. They're wanting you to keep focusing on your feminine. Okay. Just see your emotional tests over the upcoming weeks is what I'm hearing, because you really are on that crossroads right now. Which means you've gone through a lot. You have healed a lot, and be proud of how much you've healed. If they've put Mother Gaia out here, the potential you both have to truly ground, that's magical. Okay? The only card that's left on the table. Okay. Alright, let's get into you just quickly, how you're viewing this situation, and then we'll get this person. Okay. This is you, how you're viewing this situation. I think for the right collective, I'm hearing it, I'm going to say it, I feel this would have been a penny drop for you. Remember when that owl card came out and I said, I don't think you really understand the severity of how much is needed to heal. I think you've been frustrated and getting impatient and thinking this isn't real. Like that, you guys had some really hardcore things to get through. I think as you're watching this, your emotion towards this would have changed. I actually feel for the right collective, I think you've been holding on to anger or frustration, resentment for the time away. But again, I think the right collective, as you watch this, it's pennies dropping. It's going to be like an aha moment. I just keep going back to me calling out that comment. Like, that's not, I have brought up unnecessary comments before, but not like that. Like, I could feel like anger in my voice. I feel this collective, just watching this reading, it's going to transition your outlook a bit. Okay, DNA upgrade family. So you do know there's family interference. You're not silly. This is when you think of them, but you're upgrading. So you do have compassion and understanding. Maybe you're hoping they're finding their compassion and understanding too. Divine feminine, I think you want to improve this. I do think you want new and improved butterflies romance. I don't think you're focusing on new love with them. Maybe you think they've moved on, but I think that's more you want this to improve. You do focus on the separation, the breakup here. Okay, there could have been a marriage involved here as well. But you got engagement ring for them specifically. So I don't think this person you were married to, but it could have felt like a bloody divorce. But there could be marriages involved. But you do focus on trying to cleanse and clear it. I think you're 50-50. I think you crave them, but then I think sometimes you get a little bit frustrated. Okay, I know you've got divine feminine here, but I do think there's a little bit of resentment in your soul for the time away. Especially holding on to details of why. Like, is it family? Is it you? Like, DNA upgrade. wanted two. Yeah, I wanted two for that, for some unexpected. So again, I think that's through this reading. I'm just going to stick to the guns with that. You do think of incoming communication. If there hasn't, you've got to trust. And maybe this is what you start upgrading from. I think this found the right collective to really make you understand how severe both of your traumas were. And I always talk and I always say, true healing takes years. You're relearning life. You can't put a timer on it. And maybe this has found you because you're losing hope. Whatever the case, I think the right collective, you really needed to understand in your core that you both were trauma-ridden souls. And this has got nothing to do with you and the lack of love or vice versa. You were just two broken birds that were destined for far greater things in life. And if you would have stayed together, couldn't even imagine what would have happened. I'm going to be honest. Okay. But hopefully this gives you strength to let go of this. Always craving the communication and maybe get you more into understanding. Okay. Hopefully it's like a release for you. That's what I'm feeling from this. Okay. Should be this upgrade here. Family. Marriage and divorce. So maybe there's a separation going on in the, or the broken home. Okay. But again, I do think this was promised to you because that was a big part of the first part. You've got marriage and divorce. There's something about an actual marriage for the right collective. Not just you where you guys could have been, but when you reflect. This is important because you've got the pairing here, so don't make it fit. Again, remember from the start, reading should take you to memories. Oh my God! Oh my God! Sorry. You just got the pairing together. You didn't get twin flames. You got divine feminine and divine masculine, the transition. So you do have a lot of love. This collective, you see this person as your divine. I've been trying to hold back saying that because I'm sure you've noticed because of just what I was feeling. But you didn't get twins. You got and one underneath each other. That's beautiful. So trust. Separation. So we've got divorce, separation, and marriage. Maybe you think this person's going through a separation, but again, wanting to have new and improved romance butterflies through this separation. I feel this is external. I don't think this is you and this person, and that kind of confirms it, especially with that engagement ring. I just think when this collective, you think of this person, there's a marriage involved as well, okay? Don't make it fit. I think you're married, they're married, the family marriage that broke, there's something here. Fate, written in the stars, blueprint. This is nice. Okay, blast from the past, rekindle nostalgia. I think this collective, as you're watching this, you have a lot of belief, but I also think before you started watching this, you were holding on to this so much. And I think the right collective, and write in the comments, I think this reading has really made you start to reflect. You're going to have the transition when you get up to this. Transition of just craving this, or if it didn't come from this message, maybe just before you started watching this, you started to really release the fear of this not coming in. There's something about you upgrading from just expecting this communication. Okay, very nice. All right, before we get into that, I just want to see how the universe is viewing you and your growth, okay, especially with how the start of this reading was. I just want to make sure you and this person are really focusing on the right things. Okay. That was the broom that flipped, so you have been removing unwanted stuff. I just want to get a couple. Okay, this is your energy. Beautiful. So we've got the heart. Hermit, you really have been healing. Perfect timing. You've still got a little bit of fox behavior. The right collective. Don't make it fit. And then things are unfolding. So remember I said before, you need to be honest with yourself. Do you add fuel to the fire when it comes to siblings? Do you gossip? Do you... This right collective, and I'm not saying it to trigger you, the universe is saying, yes, you are healing. You are healing your heart space. Everything in perfect timing. Things are unfolding with you. You're growing more and more every day, but you still have a little bit here. Self-interest, stealth, a little bit of deceit. Do you say some fibbies here and there as well? Redhead, cunning, sly, crafty, sharp, sleight of hand. Something's not right. I think maybe, and you've got to remember too, if you're always looking for other people and ulterior motives and you find it hard to trust others, you yourself embody some qualities that are hard to trust without you even knowing. It's projection. You are healing. You are healing. I'm just being very honest here. These are all... But the universe is saying, and me personally, I see the fox, especially if you see a fox cross your path, it's about a little bit of manipulation. So you just need to be honest with yourself, and just over the next coming weeks, see your own personal fox behavior, okay? Because remember, there's clouds, there's still something, there's some stuff blocking this. Until this heals, this can be very triggering in a relationship. You just need to watch this one. But you have been finding your internal guidance. You've been finding peace and resolve. I think you've been on a hermit journey for a long time. You ooze love. Okay. Love, romance, joy, bliss, hearts, desires. You're feeling content. They're saying you found your fulfillment. You're so kind. You're so forgiving. You're passionate. You're caring. Clearly a very beautiful person. Okay. But you're still growing. They're saying you're still growing. Okay, you can still be a little bit bold, but you do focus on positivity and you're building strength. But they're saying, wait, things are still unfolding here for you. But your culmination of effort, they're seeing you're preparing for longevity. So you're not just healing for, you're healing for a lifetime. You understand that, which is beautiful. But you will stand the test of time, past, present, future. So again, remember when I was saying with that owl, this might hit you for 6. You might be now about to tap into some forgotten memories. Okay, but this is beautiful. We just need to work on this one. Okay, and trust. You could feel like you're the most healed person, but they read your frequency. Energy doesn't lie, and you're still growing. Okay. Beautiful. And the marriage again at the bottom. All right, let's get into this person. Hold on. I just want to see what the universe wants you to focus. Okay. Surrender to your attachment of result. And that, I think, I'm going to be honest, I think this reading's found the right collective to make you go into deep reflection and understand why the time had to... The more I'm reading this, I understand why it got so serious at the start, because that's exactly where the right collective could have ended up. I get it now that I'm reading it. You need to trust. You got to let go of what's coming next here. And I hope this reading gives you strength to do that and reignite your belief. The formula to success is to do all that you can. So just focus on you to make things happen, then let go of the result. So you know you're on your hermit. You know you're healing. That's all you can do. So keep doing it. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome will sabotage it because you start to build resentment. Okay? Surrender to miracles. Because you are a miracle. Trust in the miracles that will unfold when you're ready. Be open to the miracles occurring in your life. Feel and know that these... I'm smiling because I don't think it's that far for this collective. We've got to tap into this person. But anyway, feel if you just have to work on your fox behavior, that is very easy to pull yourself up on. Now that you know what you need to focus on it. Okay? Feel and know that these events are real. Let go of any resistance and banish doubt that miracles can happen. You are a walking miracle. So of course miracles can always unfold. Remember, you can go to sleep with one life and literally wake up with another. Your life can change in a second. I'm hearing that. Do you believe in magic? Lol, I'm gonna stop singing, but I was gonna say miracles happen when you least expect them, and that's why you need to let go. And remember that card, this will be released. Expect the unexpected. So when you don't expect it, and right now this collective, you're constantly expecting it. Remember the DNA upgrade from the incoming and unexpected. Okay, no more. Surrender to frustration, because all it does, they're triggering this in you because it's your frustration that's your alarm bell. Because in the past, frustration would lead to explosion. That's what you need to heal. Remember, we're talking about the thin-skinned, intolerant. Okay, frustration doesn't open any doors. The key to resolving a dilemma or dissolving a block is to take a breath and center yourself, learning how to center and calm emotion. This is what they want you to work on, and regroup. You may approach the situation more calmly, which you need to learn for this connection. Both of you. You guys are mirrors. Trust. Trust. They're activating more up here and more through here. Be honest with yourself. Remember, this blocks and gets croaky and itchy, and when we're not being honest with ourselves, there's things here, the nitty-gritties you need to reflect on and understand and just take ownership. You both had very severe trauma, okay? Both of you. All right, let's get into this person. All right, let's see how they're feeling towards you right now. Then we'll see how the universe is seeing them and their growth, and then what they need to surrender to. And I'll see if we're being called to do a what's coming next. Okay, just see. Okay. This person feel. Oh. This is person feel right now. Holy moly! You got the Loony, Kundalini, the Kundalini, Tutu, and mirroring. So they've awakened. That's very good. You just got the 20 there. We didn't get the 21 from the universe. Just saying, though. How are they feeling towards you? They're watching. Mission. Okay. So they're wanting your forgiveness right now. Control. I think they feel very puppeted, but I think they still feel a little bit controlled by your love, but your wisdom. Okay, you're clearly a truth seeker. Going back to that fox. But change, that's good. There is a shift coming. There's a beautiful big shift coming. I think this person's starting to have more belief in your connection, but I still think this is a block. It makes sense why they're so scared of the intensity they feel for you, because the intensity that comes out of them scares them. Remember what I felt right at the start? I think this was a big reason your person left. I think a version came out of them that they had seen in the past relationships, and it scared the shit out of them because they loved you that much. So because they still feel such an intensity, it scares them. Kundalini, no contact. So they're going over no contact here. Salem ring a bell. Right, collective, this has been a long time, so long. I don't think you know this person's awakened. I don't think you know they're awake. I don't think you've seen their change. They've broke free from the shackles of programming while in no contact. But still red flag. And it is a red flag. That mirror at the start still. So they still go over little things. It is transforming, but they still hold on to red flags here. It's how ignited, and that's the biggest thing. I see it as a red flag for the right collective, and so does the universe. That's why they're making sure you've really, not just telling yourself you've healed, really healed the things that got you both into a place of explosion. Okay, But underneath, I'm sorry, reunion. They think about it all the time. These shackles are still here for a reason. You both have got some more work to do, but they want this clearly. Cleanse and clear. So it's their family that they want to break free from. That's a huge part of this as well. That's from the universe, their family, the enmeshment. That's a huge part. So they're reflecting on it. So when they think of you, they think of the blockages here with the family. They know they need to cleanse and clear it out. It affects their auric field. It affects their energy. It's sad. They know it. But I do also think they don't want to feel controlled by this love. But it's intense, and the intimacy, especially over... It's funny because they got twin kundalini mirroring, but you got divine feminine, divine masculine. So I think the right collective, you're a lot more healed than this person. I think they're still in the twin flame lens. Okay, one more. And there's some things here that they haven't spoken about, especially... All right, let's see what this person, how the universe is viewing them right now. That's beautiful. They got judgment. No, still stay. Oh, wow. Makes sense with the energy we're tapping into. Okay, definitely not time just yet, but they are going through a judgment period. Okay, total transformation. They're finally heeding the call. There's a renewal, surrender, awakening, rebirth, cleaning the slate, fundamental changes taking place, clearing and purging. There's still stalemate here, and I think this is what's transitioning, but still standoffish. Okay, for a reason. The veils are on annuals for... Although, anyway, they're still non-committal, they're still blocked, there's still delay tactics, they're still refusing to compromise, but they're holding on to so much baggage, burden, and guilt. Makes sense with how ignited this was in the past. I don't think this collective, you understand the fear this person has when it comes to you and the intensity. But they're wanting a transformation, and the universe is seeing them transforming. But right now they're making them face their baggage, burdens, guilt, feeling cursed, shame, regret. They're making them feel it. It's to awaken them and to clear and purge. But they are a bit restless here at the moment. But that is beautiful. They got judgment and the butterfly. Stop it. Metamorphose time. Be open, embracing change. So they are embracing it. Evolution of the soul. They're rising up. They're reinventing themselves. We love that. Okay, one more. But they still go over stress. So you got the fox, they got the mice. So they really get wrapped up in their mind. They could be going through some illness as well. They could have had a health scare. Illness, fatigue, anxiety, worry, restless. So 2 restless cards. It'll never work till they learn how to heal their anxiety, because this is what their trigger point is. They start to stress, they start to accuse, this still needs time. Okay. One more. It's good though it is, and there's the family still. So in all decks, trust the universe right now. This is on hold for a reason. Okay, it just would not work with this energy, but they're transforming. The family is a huge block here. Enmeshment's a true thing. Google it. Like, not that Google's reliable, but I get it. That's one thing I kind of do believe the label of. It's just that blood thicker than water. You choose family over everything. It actually destroys marriages. Okay, it's like the family's always the priority, even over the spouse. That needs to heal. Okay, but let's just see what they would want to say. What would they want to say to you if they could right now? Because they're clearly thinking about you. Oh, their mask. I'm wearing a mask by appearing appearing happy and serene in front of others. When I'm alone, I think about you and I realize I was my true self when I was with you. But it's sad because your true selves ignited each other so much. So maybe, I don't think this person's blinded to their behavior, but if I feel this collective holds on to more happy, you want to hope they're in a bit deeper reflection. Okay, number 10. Ego-driven still. My pride and ego held me back and stopped me from being my true authentic self. I'm afraid you'll reject me because I fear I'm not good enough for you. My self-confidence is just a facade. So they know, I think if they could, they would tell you this is all just a mask. I care about you so much. It's easier for me to present in my ego. They're afraid to show you who they truly are at the moment. 17th of the 10th. Like I said, you don't know this person's been awakening. You don't know it. Through this no contact, it's literally, it's like the last time you saw this, the person that you will eventually see will be completely different. Okay, I don't think you're part of twins. You work in different waves, but I feel this right collective. Although I do have to say, even though you both got twin energy, thinking of one another, the universe didn't show me that card. I have to say that. When we were going over how the universe views this, just saying. But a lot of the time you guys see the progression in them, but there are like a chunk of you guys, you don't even see that they're healing till they return, or that they've healed but will forever heal. Okay. I should actually quickly ask the question from the universe. One more. They've got regret for not putting more effort in here. I think I made a mistake. I should never have let you go, but they needed to. I should have stayed and fought for our connection. It wouldn't have worked. It would have ended up being a very dangerous kind of love. And fought for our connection, but I was weak and fearful, and now I'm mourning the loss of you. It all had to happen. I think you've put a lot of effort into this person, but they weren't meant to act when they should. I think they've been avoiding their emotion. They're really going over them. Okay, let's see what they need to surrender to. And I'm gonna, to flip the frustrator. They're like you, they get easily frustrated. Stress, so they're a stress head, that mice energy. Take a few deep breaths and exhale tension that you've built up in your body. Let stress go and come, so that you both struggle to still find your center. Yours comes from frustration. Theirs comes when they're stress and mice energy. Surrender to the idea you can fix someone. I think it's their family. I think this person, you got to remember, if they're awakened, and I'm going to ask the question if this is really divine. I'm only going to pull 2 cards, so if it doesn't come out, we're not pushing it. What was I saying? And so I think they're trying to maybe give advice to, but when people aren't ready to heal, they're not ready. It's time for a relationship to shift. If it doesn't work to try and fix someone. Each person must be accountable for his or own healing and surrendering to spirit. So they're really connected right now. Once you've done everything you can to achieve your goal, and you got that with surrender to attachment of result. Give the situation over to the divine and let spirit work its magic for you. So you both have to work on a bit of surrender right now. But if this person has tendencies to try and fix someone, you would have memories of this person being critical on you, and maybe, I don't want to say judging, but trying to fix certain things or pulling you up on certain things that wouldn't work in your connection. All right, I'm going to ask the question. There's 132 cards in here. I'm only going to pull 2. If spirit wants to show us, it'll come out, but... All right, spirit, is this truly a divine connection? I don't think they're going to show. All right, let's see. You're not going to believe this. Remember how spirit, when I asked about your actual connection, right, you got the same 3 cards. I know we got a few more. They're saying it's magical. This is clearly meant to end up in marriage. Okay, leap of faith, easygoing, don't worry. A change in direction, luck is on your side. You could be destined to have a birth of a son with this person. They're not showing me divine. Okay. This activated your magic, both of you. And that should be answer enough. There's a reason they didn't show me. I'll get one more, but I find it's like I've already told you how this relationship is what I'm hearing. It's the same 3 cards. Like, I know we got more, but same 4 cards. Overflowing abundance. I'm hearing, why do you need to know? Okay, I'm leaving it. Okay, this is going to fulfill you. Oh my God! Stop it! That just happened. You got to stand alone for a little bit more. You got it. Only 1 card. There's this one, but you got it. That's just shocked me. I didn't even split it evenly. That's crazy. Trust. This is something magical. Just trust. Okay. Trust in your healing and keep on healing. Understand why this happened. And you know what I always say? True divines, you're the most trauma-filled souls. It's making sense. That first part, how serious and deep that got. If spirit didn't intervene, I don't know where either of you would have ended up in life. Trust your journey and process. Very specific reading. Magical. That was magic. I'm glad I asked that. Special collective. Salem's coming now. Hey, Papa. Power. You are powerful. You instinctively know what is right for you. You have the power to say no or walk away at any time. So stuff about in your life triggers. Remember, find center before explosive. This is what they're testing you on. Criticizing one another, and that was a big part. Don't be picking apart why this is happening for healing. Criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. It's not their fault. It's not your fault. It's the divine's fault in the best way. Love and accept each other just as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. This was an issue in the past for you guys. You thought you loved each other unconditionally, but you pulled each other apart with unnecessary things. So critical because of your trauma. Just trust. There's a reason I got called to ask that question again. Okay? They're truly just healing your little broken souls. That's all. That's the twin card too. Only time will tell, so just keep focusing on yourself. Like forgiveness. Stop focusing on energy. Stop focusing your energy on past events because it accumulates resentment. I know we reactivated a little bit of thought pattern for the Rat Collective for a reason, but now we need to let it go and focus on the stop focusing on past events, for life is too precious to wait. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. And this is probably why they didn't want to show me that twin card, because it's your belief. You shouldn't need the answer from me. You shouldn't need the answer from our creator. You both know. You don't need the answer. This was a very intense but transition to a very magical reading. Okay. Very nice. Beautiful. All right, let's get you a little charmy. Oh, you got the love, and you got my ducky. Trust your intuition. You could be seeing a lot of ducks. Did I tell you about the little duck that came up to me at the restaurant and was sitting next to me for like 10-15 minutes and like giving me duck kisses on my hand? I just thought of that again. But luck is on your side. You are the elephant. You can knock over any hurdle. But the gold elephant, abundance on its way, and the love bell. And I'm wearing pink. Pink is the color of love. Don't hold on to resentment or negativity. Trusted time away. You guys truly needed to heal on a deep level, and you're still growing. Opalite or opal. Okay, let's get you some dices. So birthdays, memories, 12th of the 5th, 5th of the Christmas could have been an important time for you guys memory-wise. 606, angel number, 10th of the 6th, 6th of the 10th, 6th of the 1st, 1st of the 6th. 10 and 654. But 20th of the 4th, 11th of the 6th, 6th of the 11th, 5th of the 11th, 5th of the 6th, and vice versa. All right, my loves, I love you guys, and have a beautiful night.